Hey guys, and welcome to the Nashville for Nobodies podcast. I am your host, Bobby Gordon, along with my co-host,
Kyle Therky, and we're going to be talking about the Nashville music scene and the ins and outs of Lower Broadway and a bunch of other random stuff that comes to mind.
So if you're thinking about Nashville or new to Nashville and want to wrap your head around what's going on, this might be a great place to start.
Take a listen.
What's going on, everybody? It's Kyle Therky with Nashville for Nobodies.
And I'm Bobby Gordon, and we are here for our first episode of Season 4.
Yay!
It's going to be super exciting. We're doing all kinds of things. If you have not checked out the new TikTok yet, that needs to be on your to-do list.
We have a TikTok. And we also have a guest today. We have Jackie Verna, as y'all can see.
Hello.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
I just met Jackie the other day. I didn't even know who she was until about 3 days ago. So welcome in. I'm glad to have you.
So nice to meet you.
We've had the opportunity to play quite a few
We
times
have.
over the last few years.
Look,
So
there's
that's
so
super
many
exciting.
people in town that I have not met or don't know yet.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people that know me that I don't know who they are.
Those
So,
are always weird
Oh, yeah.
encounters.
yeah, I have a lot of those awkward encounters. I'm not gonna
Especially
lie.
like when they come up and start asking you like pretty intimate questions about your family and stuff and things
And
that's
you're like-
going on, and you're like,
wait, what's
you
going
have
on?
to know me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Who are you? That happens a lot. That's always awkward. So anyway,
Anywho,
how do you feel about trains?
trains? I love a good train. Love a good train ride.
Yeah.
Railroad track. Yeah. That's today's vibes, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
A million train tracks.
like that.
She got stuck behind the train.
I did. I
before-
got stuck on the train. On the train. No,
You were on
I
it?
got. I was not. I could have. I wish
She
I
was
could have
stuck.
drove over it, but I could not.
She was stuck behind the train today trying to come to the studio.
That's
So
It's very
and
fun.
and that
That's the vibe.
train sucks. It'll just stop
It
and then it'll start
did.
to move and then it'll stop and you'll sit there for like an hour. So if you're ever
Oh.
coming to our studio, if you get caught at the train, just turn around and go the other way and it'll redirect you how to get here.
Yeah, thank God Bobby said, "Oh, you should just go around," because in my brain I'm like, "There's only one way through."
normally
like-
that's how Kyle had to do the same thing for me. I was late for an episode and I was like, "There's a train," and he's like, "And
Can't
there's
get
gonna be
there.
a train. Go the fuck around."
The way he said it though, he's like, "Well, if it's worth it, just go around." I was like, "I guess so." It's
I mean,
worth-
if you saw the end of the
oh
train,
no,
then
it
it's
was
like
stopped,
not
like
worth
he
it.
said. It
No,
just
yeah,
stopped.
It stops and then it'll start to move. It'll
was
creep
weird.
up
Yeah, I've
and then
never
it'll
seen
stop
that.
again. Well, right up over here there is a like a train rail yard. And so
sick.
they're unloading and
Yeah.
loading stuff. And
That's funny.
yeah, if you get stuck on Elm Hill behind that train, it sucks. Especially anytime
Yeah.
you get stuck behind it.
Because it's there every time I come to Kyle's.
Yep.
Pain in the butt.
So if you're coming to the studio, don't take Elm Hill, take Lebanon, just FYI.
Right. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into it, be professional and on point, and do this thing like we've been talking about for as long as we can before it goes off the rails.
Love that for us.
Speaking of going off the rails, I left my iPad with all the questions, so it's all up to you.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, you know
It's
what?
like you can just chime in.
That's a
wherever.
lie. I think I have them on my phone, so you're never mind.
Cool. Well, either way, I'm sure you would think of something. You're pretty good at finding ways to ask questions and talk.
No, I'm good with just talking. I'm terrible with asking questions.
Fair.
Ask
Like
anyone.
pressure's on.
Ask any girl that I've ever dated. They'll be like, he never asked me questions
He
because I'll just
doesn't-
ramble.
That's fair.
Like I'm having a conversation with you, and I will learn things through this conversation. But I am terrible with asking questions. Anyways, continue.
All right, so Jackie Verna,
Yes.
where are you from?
I am from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of it's like an hour outside Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Good. You're on the other side. You're cool.
Oh,
I'm okay with you. I'm a-
is that like the Pittsburgh side? Is that?
Yeah,
is
that's,
that,
that's
yeah.
bad side. We don't like that side.
Oh,
Is
so
that
we don't
Noah's
like
side?
Noah then.
That's that old family.
Well, I've got Noah, so I'll say that's the Noah side and it's the bad side. Noah's
Yes.
hilarious.
Okay. So then I'm
Um,
from the good side.
So did
Oh yeah, Noah is from
were
Pennsylvania.
you
He's from Pittsburgh.
were
I
you
forget.
familiar with Noah while you were back home?
No,
Okay.
we didn't know each other. No.
So you guys met in Nashville?
Yeah, we met here in
Oh, cool.
Nashville.
How long have you been in Nashville?
I've been here since. Oh my gosh, when did I move here? 2019, like pretty much the very beginning of 2019, I moved here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had a good year before the whole shutdown.
Just about, yeah. And it was just crazy because when I moved here, I lived in the Sobro apartments. You know, they're like a block away from Broadway.
Yep.
There's something else now, whatever they are. But I lived there for my first year and a half or so. And so during COVID, you could walk your I have a dog, so like, or I have two now, but I walked my dog literally just straight down Broadway, and like you could hear a pin drop like every day of the week. It was crazy.
I remember
just a weird time.
There were a few times where I like drove down through downtown just to see it, and I was like, "This is so eerie."
It feels like you're in like an apocalyptic movie or something,
right.
like on like a movie set. Like it was just the
there
oddest.
were no
thing.
cars down there.
Anybody.
Like and they had the neon shut off. That was the weirdest thing. If you went down there,
so like at night it's pitch black,
bro. If you went down there at night,
sometimes
there were some that were on, but like all the window lights were off. Like the like some of the main neon signs were on. But all the window lights, everything else.
Even like blinking, and then you see like pages of like magazines and newspapers floating through the.
I'm
going full apocalyptic.
Yeah,
in my
we need
imagery.
like a full scene in our head.
That's how it felt, man.
I bet.
It really did. It was creepy.
I live in Clarksville, so like I had no reason to come to Nashville for like that whole year.
Yeah.
So I didn't see anything other than my wife at the time was working on swimming pools. And so she could do that without contact with anybody. So I would go with her and help. So I saw swimming pools in my house, and that's it.
It's crazy.
That was all.
Well, it's just funny because it's like, you know, this whole town of music, like we had nothing to do at that time. Like everyone get a job.
It's like everybody learned how to make videos for the internet and to stream concerts.
Yeah, for real.
Like people that had never touched a computer was like, all right, let's figure this out. Click, click, click. I'm bored.
Man, with as stupid as I am, I probably would have gone famous if I'd had TikTok back then.
Right.
I wish I would have started a TikTok during that time. I just didn't. I did get on like kind of watching them and all, but I just didn't jump on the train to like get one.
I didn't get a TikTok until 2022. And I really
probably
didn't.
Around the same, maybe 2020.
I didn't even start posting my own videos, which were all just like filters up until last year. And it's only been recent that I've been like actually getting into it. But
and now we have to.
Now we
you must.
We're doing better this year.
Hey, once she leaves here, because since her episode's coming out next, I'm gonna release the TikTok with her stuff.
Yeah.
So
those silly questions.
Oh my god, those threw me for a loop. That was funny.
That was kind of the goal of it.
Yeah.
There were some fun answers.
We're hitting Broadway with serious questions.
Yeah. All right, so give us a rundown on your life back home. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, to preface this, I moved to Westchester when I was 12 or just turned 13. So before that, I lived in New Jersey, actually. But I just say I'm from Westchester because that's where I lived, you know, most of my life. But you know, I moved to Westchester when I was 13, and you know, life back home was really just kind of that. It's like a small college town.
Okay. So
like there's Westchester University. It's like it's not huge, but so yeah. So I lived in like a small college town. So that's kind of the vibe you would get. But I come from a really big family, so like I'm one of the only people who've really moved away, other than like a few of us. Like you know, like my mom, her whole side, like you know, like all my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my dad, same thing. All of us live within like a 25, maybe 30-minute radius from each other. To visit, like it's like my whole family, like we're all very, very close. So, so that's kind of fun. So you know, it's different living far away now, but
especially if you grew up with
but I grew up with just like you know seeing like my family every weekend, not just like you know like brothers and sisters, like my cousins, my aunts, like it's like just always a thing. So I come from a very big family, so that's like a little bit about like kind of home life. It really there was really nothing like exciting about the way I grew up or anything other than that. But like music wise, I've always loved music. So
yeah, when did singing start becoming a thing for you?
Well, I've been told I've been singing since like, you know, coming out of the womb basically, but I've always loved it. My mom would like put the jazz station on to get me to sleep every night, like growing up and stuff like that. So I was always very into that. But, I didn't start really trying anything out, like singing like out anywhere until like chorus in, middle school, high school kind of stuff. So
which is a very different scenario than what
yeah,
you're in now.
So like I did that like growing up. Like it's kind of funny because like I my whole life I remember, I come home from school every day or whatever. I'd be up in my room like singing all day every day. But that's really like all I ever did, other than like then going, like chorus, things like that in school. Like my start with music, publicly was very like later on for myself.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
Fair enough. So
Yeah.
let's first I want to cover, did you have musical family? Or you said you had a lot of family. Were any of them really
Yeah, I
musical?
mean, some of them like played instruments and stuff like that, but they're really in my family like that can like sing. Not really many. No,
So
there's
never
like
a real
no.
big chance for like a family band
No,
or anything.
no. I mean, well, maybe like if everyone played an instrument, like, but like singing wise, like my parents, no one has any idea where it is. Like, they're like, I don't know how I made that. Like,
Fair enough.
My dad can't sing for the life of him. Neither can my mom.
Well, maybe that was it. You just heard it wrong your whole life, and you're like, "Oh, well,
I gotta make
I'm
this
gonna do
right.
it like
I was
this."
very determined from a young age. I was like, I'm gonna be able to sing. Like, I really think I manifested that for myself.
Nice. What other things were you into as a young adult / teenager?
Oh well, I was a cheerleader like honestly my whole life up until
One of those.
I was one of those.
I can see it.
I was a very she said what one of those, okay. Well, yes, I was one of those girls. I was a cheerleader from gosh, I think like 6. I was probably 5 or 6 when I started, and I did that all the way up into college. So up to like 21 years old.
Nice.
2021, yeah. I played soccer growing up too, but that didn't last me too long.
So for doing cheer for that long, was that something that kind of like helped you like be in front of people? So when you started getting on stage, was that something that helped you at all?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I was like a social butterfly probably, my whole life, but starting music was actually very nerve-wracking for me, because there's like a lot that happened to me kind of in high school that kind of just made it was like a big choice to like try to do the voice. Like I really wanted to, but it was very nerve-wracking to like put myself forward. So I guess you could say like I was a very confident person, but when I was 17 or so, I got in a car accident that kind of like blew up my whole like my plans for what I had for myself, and ended up like driving home from school one day. It was like me and my friend in the car, and we were driving home, and a car came and hit us, like T-boned me. So like my car flipped across the road into a pole, and it was kind of like lights out from there. But I ended up having a brain injury that took almost a year and a half to recover from. So you can imagine going into like your senior year of high school, beginning of college, like
all these opportunities,
things that I
everything
thought
in front of you,
like I want,
and
so it's like I had that, which was really hard. And then I had 2 plastic surgeries on my face as well as my shoulder too, because there was a lot going on there. Literally, like all the way up. So I almost lost my eye. Like it was just this crazy experience. And like my friend came out completely unscathed from this whole thing because I shielded her because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So wear your seatbelt, people. But, but this
so give me like a quick run through of like the injuries. You said
so
your shoulder.
I had so basically my chest was like ripped open from like here all the way to the back of my shoulder. Like you could see like
So like collarbone back.
Yeah, you could see just like everything in there. And my face, the whole like left side of my face was like tissue, muscle, like just
Just like
everything like ripped apart, and that could have, you know, been from the crash, from glass, from all, you know, just the car, like everything. So, and then my head, I had a head injury there that, you know, when you watch like a cartoon and you see like their head go like that, I had one that was like, I think a hematoma they're called, like that was like literally like inches off my face. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
Thankfully, somehow, some way, I broke no bodily bones other than like on my face. I broke a couple bones in my face. I broke my nose. And I didn't even fracture my skull like through this whole thing. But yeah, so it was just, it was a huge recovery process that took about, like between the surgeries and that, it took about 2 years. But
how long were you in the hospital after?
Oh, actually, I wasn't in the hospital very long after the first, like, and the initial, I was only in there maybe about a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so you would think, like, but
I guess if there was no, like, major broken
no, like,
bones and, like, if the head injury wasn't, like, a hardcore brain injury, I
no,
guess,
yeah,
then-
so the only thing, the thing that I struggled with was, like, memory issues throughout the whole, I had short-term memory issues throughout this whole thing, which a lot of people with, like, head injuries, like you get if you get extremely bad concussions or anything like that, like you can struggle with, but like but I had a really rough time that whole like year in school, and then leading up into like my freshman year of college. So this all kind of ties in to where I really got started in music. Was my aunt, she bought me my first keyboard. So that's what kind of made me like, just, I've always loved music, but like that's kind of what helped me a lot during that time, because like I couldn't really do much. I wasn't even in school full time anymore. And so I started learning sheet music off that as part of like kind of like a cognitive like, or like memory kind of therapy, because it's really hard to put notes in your brain to your hands and your fingers on the like, so that is kind of what propelled me to just like kind of like really dive into music around that. So that was around like 17.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
that's kind of the beginning. That's the very beginning. It's kind of a lot and
so
very
playing
confusing
keys
story,
and using the sheet music, like, did you notice that was helping your memory?
Yeah, they say like everyone's like, a lot of people say like music is therapy, and like, you know, it's emotional therapy too, but like if you're like trying to learn this, I think I 100% think that helped me during that time. I was obviously doing a bunch of other therapies and things like that, but if we're talking strictly about music and stuff like that, that's kind of like, that's where my start, I think, kind of budded from. So
you mentioned
there you go.
before you got into the accident, you mentioned confidence. Now, what did this do?
Oh, I mean,
because one, it's taking you away from everything that you're comfortable with in life. It's removing you from your life.
I was never uncomfortable being in front of people until that whole thing happened, because like, you know, you're a 17-year-old girl and like, this is my face.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And at that time, like I said, I had multiple surgeries on my face. So like after the first one, there was still a lot of things that needed to be fixed. So like, you know, I go back knowing all these kids since I'm a kid, or knowing all these kids like your whole childhood, and then you go back and you look a tiny bit different. It's not like you look at me now and it's like it's not the same, but like you know, just like I'll always have scars on my face. That doesn't bother me anymore. But at the time, like things were like rised like an inch off my face, which that's like a lot when you just see like something like, and my eye, you know, before my second surgery was like it couldn't, you know how like it looked like this, like a droopy, so like imagine being a 17-year-old girl, just put that in your brain, or even a guy for that matter. I mean, I would think like even then you know, just being a kid, but just imagine like walking around like that for like 7 months, 8 months.
At 17, I very much cared about like what I looked like.
Yeah, I think
understand that.
It's interesting when I have conversations like this and when we talk about like my start, that's always like a big part of it. And because you like a lot of people will say like, oh, if you'll see on like TV the people with like a sob story or da 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 da, but like, yes, this is my sob story, but it's not like, it's something that I think is now like a positive thing to talk about because it brought me to where I'm at now. So like,
oh, absolutely,
there's been a whole thing, but so that was kind of like where everything started for me. Yeah.
And so you take that event, and how does that transfer? You get the keyboard, you're playing music more. When does the thing click that goes like, oh, this is where I'm going?
I had always felt like I wanted to do music, and then like when that happened, I love it so much, and like I was like, I don't know how, where I'm from, this town in Pennsylvania where I can do this from, but like I want to do it, but that was kind of like always in the back of my mind was like, I want to do music, but where I'm from, like, it's not like there's really a lot of resources for that.
Right. It's
So,
not like Nashville.
No, it's not. And to be honest, like, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew of Nashville when I was younger, but like, it never really like clicked something in my brain like, oh, I want to go there when I'm older, So it's kind of
Right.
fun that I ended up here, and I love it. But yeah.
And so how long after that was The Voice?
So let's see, I was 17 from this kind of story, 17, 18 from that story we're talking about now. I went on The Voice. I initially tried out when I was 22.
Okay.
But by the time I got on, like it aired, I was 23 at the time.
Okay.
So yeah. So it was a couple of years.
Realistically, that's not a long time to go from, oh, I like music, I want to play music, to I'm on The Voice in front of the world.
Yeah, that was a crazy. I still can't even believe that happened. But like, yeah, it was a crazy time.
Did you make it all the way through to the TV show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
So
you
I
made
ended
up to like top 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whose team did you go with?
I was on Team Adam.
Okay.
So, but I, actually, like he was there was 2 spots left in the whole competition by the time my audition came.
Oh,
so there's
you
48
clocked in
spots.
right at the buzzer.
Yeah, there's 48 spots between like each team, and I was number 47 out of 48.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like almost everyone's team was full by that time had come. So, but I didn't know that till after the whole audition process. But yeah, it was kind of crazy, I guess, going from my bedroom to like that, because I had barely done anything prior to that.
That was my next question.
Yeah, that's
like,
a huge
playing
like
any,
shock.
any shows or anything before that?
I had literally played, sang once in my high school talent show, and I played like maybe like a coffee shop a few times here and there.
So you were really good.
That. Yes. Like I couldn't even believe what was happening to me. Like, because I went to college. After high school, I had to stay close for college. I couldn't go away because of everything I still had going on. So I chose to go to Penn State. Mm-hmm. And they had a campus that was like right down the street from my parents' house. Like, so
Convenient.
so I couldn't really go anywhere, but I wanted to go to school, and like, so I did that, but then eventually went up to their main campus where, got to spread my wings a little bit. And I was so unhappy.
Really?
In school. Yeah, because I struggled when I started college with, and I feel like there's a lot of musicians out there that maybe have struggled with this, I'm not sure, but like wanting to go to school for music or wanting to just go to school for something that's practical, or
yeah,
like, because there is no certain guaranteed future for musicians. It's no. It's either you're making your own way here, and like, or like depending on what your goals are, you know what I mean? So like I kind of struggled with that in the very beginning, and I decided, well, maybe I'll just go to school and figure out what I want to do. that doesn't really involve music. Because I guess I kind of thought, you know, just from where I came from and everything, like where am I gonna go from here? You know what I mean? Like it's.
I was always told not to go to school for music because I would never get a job.
Yeah, and that
Like
was something that was in the back of my head too.
What are you gonna do?
Unless you want to be a music teacher.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
but then that you have to have an education degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exactly like something that had been posed or said to me at one point, and I was kind of like, I struggled with that. So I went to school, undecided, and then I eventually like, you know, got into a major and stuff like that. But a few years into school, it's like I got so unhappy, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I saw The Voice was coming to Philly, and so that's kind of what brought me there. Like I drove home for a weekend. I went into Philly, auditioned at their, you know, the cattle call, got a call back, got a casting interview, and eventually got invited to LA, where then again you have to audition for the producers of the show, so you're not even on at that point either. Right. And I at that same time had to make a choice whether to leave school or to stay, because it was at that, like for my major in particular, like you have to be there. So I had to choose. Like,
what was your major?
You're never gonna guess. I was an.
That's why we're asking.
I was an energy engineering major.
Really?
To start. Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, which was crazy, and so that was most of my college. And then I got so unhappy and undecided, and I'm like, I actually changed my major when I should be almost graduating to nursing, because I was like, if I need to fulfill my life in some way, I want it to be like something I can help people with. And I was so unhappy with engineering because I was like, nothing was music, and that's what was the problem at deep down. Mm-hmm. But like, so I ended up getting almost all the way through college, changed my major to nursing, and like I had already taken a lot of those courses though, because like they do kind of coincide, so I wasn't very far off. But and at that time, that's when The Voice happened. So like,
so I need to.
It's just there's a lot to there's a whole lot
I need to take a
of
quick
things
step
going on
out of this interview, like. So in the world that I know you in, you're a country music artist, and we've played country music together quite a few times, and I totally had you pegged as this cute little country girl. And turns out not any of that is accurate. So my bad. I don't know you at all. So it's really nice to get
meet
to know you.
Oh,
this is why I love these podcasts, because you really learn about people and who they are. And some people, like, we can be kind of close, but most of the time we're like, nope, we had you pegged wrong completely.
Yeah, right? Well, it's just kind of funny because it's like, this is not my normal day-to-day conversation with people. Like, I'm not going to like, hey, let me tell you about my whole life story, what I used to do, what I did. Like this is stuff that, you know, it's like, I guess I don't even think about anymore, because it's like, what's the point of us talking
I mean,
about?
that's
so
your life.
Always,
You've lived it. You've done it. Here you are.
So it's always fun to do stuff like this, because people are always like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I was wrong. Way off. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back to The Voice.
Yeah. So all of that, I got there. That was 2017, if you want like a kind of like a timeline here. So I should have been close to graduating, changed my major to nursing, and then
said, fuck it, let's sing.
I love
you
it.
can tell how just
So
undecided I that's like the theme of my life here.
So you mentioned a couple of times that like you were very green. Like stage experience for the most part. So what was it like getting past that first audition process versus like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on TV?
So I had to preface too, I had auditioned before, pretty much very close to that, but I think I was 18. I decided, and this was kind of like my family really encouraged me, and I was still going through all these things, like having trouble being in front of people and like all this stuff, but they really encouraged me to try out, and I tried out, and I got up to the casting interview and then never got a call. So since this time, it wasn't my first time auditioning. I was kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna go here. I think I also focused so hard on like song choices, like the times before, or like when I auditioned, and like this time I was like, I'm just gonna sing my favorite song right now, and almost like a, I don't even know, I had no expectation of getting on. Like, I'd
Right.
already been
You'd already
sort of,
gone through
I've
the
already gone,
rejection, so that didn't matter anymore.
So I was like, you know what, just whatever. And when I did that, I realized that, like, obviously everyone says it, so just be authentic. Just don't do what you think people expect from you. Don't, like, that's where I think people get tripped up. And so at this point I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sing all my favorite songs, and it worked. And they call me, like I was saying, that one weekend I went out, they had invited me finally to LA, and I auditioned for the producers. And that same weekend before I left, they had a meeting to tell me and like every other person they invite into that room that we're now invited to the blinds. So that's when I was like, this is like a pinch me moment. Oh my God. Like, I was very, I don't know if I want to say concerned. I don't know what the right word would be, because I also had never really had any proper training before this. I had a few music lessons, like, other than being in chorus in high school, whatever. I had a few vocal lessons, like, that I could count on my two hands in my life. So I knew I could sing, but like, it's kind of like you're getting in a room with people who you've already heard about, who've like done all these things, or someone who's already had a record deal, maybe that fell through for them or whatever, like people that have all this experience. And I've sang in a coffee shop.
And obviously there's a difference in I can sing and I am a professional singer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's miles apart.
I don't even know if I felt intimidated, to be honest. I think I felt more just like, this is like, now I really have to like prove something to all these people. Like, is kind of how I felt. And
now it's not just like some casting or producer saying,
yeah.
Now it's like,
yeah.
oh, people are gonna hear me.
Yeah, people are gonna watch this, and like, and all these things. So it was very new to me. Also, the whole like interview process and stuff, like, that was all very new to me. It's not like I never been like interviewed or doing that all day, like, because when you're in this little bubble with that show, that's like, you're literally like all day you're in some sort of interview, you're doing something fun that's being filmed, or you're practicing, or like you're going to a studio, which also I really didn't have much experience with. So everything was so new to me, and I think it was more like exciting than it was intimidating too. So
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. So, and I was younger, so I also think that kind of helped, because I didn't really know any better. I didn't really know how nervous I should be. Right. If that makes sense.
No, I've said that. I've been on stage literally since I was like 2 or 3. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't know you're supposed to be nervous, you're not nervous.
Yeah. Because there was, some of the people on the show, and like some people I'd worked with, like contestant wise, that had experience, and they had like record deal or something, and so that felt like more pressure for them to like, this be the thing that works. So I never had any of that, so it was kind of just like, holy crap, I'm here. If I don't make it, okay, but I made it here. Yeah.
So it was almost like,
I wanted it to work so bad, of course, like, I wanted to do music, but like, I think the headspace that I put myself was like, if I make it here, like, I'd be happy. And for me, that was like, if I just got on the show. So like, I did that. I got on, and I was like, obviously shitting my pants. I mean, who wouldn't be? Right. But like, okay, if I don't make it past here, like, yeah, I'll be bummed, but like, but you have to make sure you put yourself there, because if you bank everything on it, you're only gonna find disappointment.
All right, so I don't watch the show. I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, but I don't like keep up with it or watch it. Yeah. So who turned around for you?
I was a 1-chair turn. It was Adam Levine, because there was who were the coaches that season? It was Adam Levine, Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, and Blake Shelton. They were the coaches, and Alicia's team was full, Blake's team was full, Kelly had 1 spot left on her team, and Adam had 1 spot left on his. So she didn't turn her chair, and he did. And like, I think at that point you're looking for something probably so specific, or who knows what they're like, we obviously know it's TV at the end of the day.
Right.
So there's like probably a little bit of things that go on behind the scenes that, I think we eventually realize as the season goes on. But like, but yeah, so he turned a chair for me. But I remember looking at the floor during the beginning of my song, because I was like, I'm singing, but I'm also kind of like looking down because I'm so nervous. And I'm like, I see the floor light up and I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like, I got a chair turn. So it was like, but he was actually, I think, a really cool coach to have, because he was very like, no bullshit. Like, he'll tell you, like, you have a question, like, they're not gonna like, I don't think any of them were really like that, but like, but they definitely like wouldn't like sugarcoat things. And I remember when I got all the way to the end, so like I made top 10, I got kicked off. That's like 2 weeks to the finale, so you're like very close, you're almost there.
Yeah.
But like, advice that he gave me when I left was that, like, he's like, to be honest, I don't know if you're supposed to say this stuff on here, I don't know, but like he's like, I wouldn't even want you to necessarily win, because, and I think it makes sense. You see a lot of people win, and then what happens?
Nothing.
Yeah. You don't
They're
see
next
them.
however many years
They're locked in
this.
this.
The voice.
They're locked in this contract with their record label now, and all this. And don't get me wrong, some of them get big or get to do things or whatever. And like, I'm sure maybe they're doing things now that we just don't know. But that's the thing, we don't know. We don't see.
In reality, it's a better opportunity than most of them would have probably ever gotten otherwise.
Yeah. And then the other thing he was like yeah, maybe coming in as a runner up is probably, I would say, like your sweet spot, because I know quite a few people who became runners up who, like, I think get a little more out of it. And like, they'll still end up with a record deal probably. Right. But
well, yeah, you're getting your name and your face and your voice in front of millions of people. Yeah, somebody's gonna see you.
That's the other thing. The other piece of advice that was given to me is, when you get on this show, look at it as an opportunity to expand your platform. Do not look at this as your ticket somewhere, because it's not. That's exactly what he said. And like, in which it I think it makes sense. And me not having my hopes up, it made more sense, because I didn't put myself in this like category to be like, this is my record deal, this is my chance, this is it. Like, it's a chance, but I took that as like, okay, this is now a platform for you. It's now, take it and use it, and then it's what you do with it after. And I guess that is what makes, as
a career musician, like, that seems so obvious to me. Like, obviously, that's the benefit, is
I had a buddy
the worldwide recognition.
I had a buddy that did one of these shows, and it wasn't The Voice or American Idol. Like, he was actually like playing and like writing songs. I can't remember. It was The Four.
Oh, that sounds really familiar.
I think it was The Four. I can't. I really don't remember.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But he was like, man, I'm just going on it just to finally get my voice and my face in front of people. He's like, I'm struggling here in town. Like, why am I going to continue doing this here? He's like, when I can be in front of millions of people and someone's going to see me. Yeah. And his Instagram, I mean, because this was, I think he did this prior to like the whole TikTok boom. But his Instagram and everything blew up. All of a sudden, he had thousands to millions of followers and all the engagement and stuff. He ended up making it to, I think, the final, like,
oh, that's cool,
final episode or something like that. He didn't win. Yeah. But when I asked him about it, I was like, man, are you mad that you went all the way through this and you didn't win? He's like, no. He's like, that was the best thing that could have happened to me.
I really think it's true. And like, I want so bad for it to be different for people that do get, because like, I mean, just think about the past 10 seasons of The Voice or American Idol. Who has come out of that has completely like shot forward? There's been a couple, I will say. I think like that have got it. Like,
right. But it's definitely not the
norm. It's not the norm. And like, why isn't it? It's like,
But it is completely common to see like the one that came in 8th.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
It's really cool. And I mean, like, just look at like, I mean, Morgan Wallen was on The Voice. He didn't go all the way through. At least I don't think. And like, and I don't know if that's a good example, but like Danielle Brad, no, she won. I was just trying to think of like people I know that have like won it, but like
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of like American Idol winners, and the only two that come to my head immediately are Kelly Clarkson and Carrie
Carrie
Underwood.
Underwood. Yeah,
And I'm trying to think of like,
yeah, I know.
I can't think of
Right.
any others that won.
There
But
was. I mean, yeah, there was.
I clearly there's several, but like,
Fantasia, did she win?
yeah.
But like, I know you don't
think
hear much
so.
from her now. At least I don't think I do. But like Jennifer Hudson, like she didn't win, but she got huge off that. But like again, that's just an example of somebody who didn't make it
Right.
and ended up like getting.
I wonder
But-
how many of those discussions happen behind the scenes. They're like, hey, we're gonna push these people all the way through the end.
Oh, I would love to be in
but
the room
they're
like
not going
when
to
these
win
conversations
because
happen.
so and so wants to sign them here. They're looking at them. I wonder how many of those
mean,
conversations
You never
happen.
know.
Again, from being in
Things
the
we'll
music
never
business, that's obviously what I think happens.
Blake's not
It's-
on The Voice
it's
anymore, right?
All like
Because I'm going to see
I
Blake.
don't think so.
business.
Well, see, I don't think he is.
Actually,
I
no,
don't
we're
know.
not. Damn it, no, I don't think. I was supposed to be in Vegas whenever they were doing their residency, when Blake Shelton was going
Oh,
to be doing
yeah.
their residency out there.
Oh,
And I know there was supposed to be some kind of like crossover with his band coming to Ole Red and playing there, but I don't think we're going to be there anymore during that residency.
dang it.
You'll see him sometime.
Dude, I know
We'll
his
get him
entire
on, we'll
band.
get him
I
on
don't
the
know him.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get Bo on this. Bo and Phil. I need to get both of them on this podcast.
Okay, so the voice happens.
Yep.
You come out of it on the other side. What does life look like immediately after?
I left The Voice. I actually moved to Texas for a year,
Okay.
Where in
And-
Texas?
Austin, and
Okay.
so that
Which is
was
where you go
Eh.
if it's music.
Yeah, well, to be honest though, it actually was more so for my then fiance, now husband. He was a petroleum engineer at the time, so he was working out of Midland, Texas,
Oh, okay.
which is
Yeah.
like so out in the oil fields. But I didn't necessarily want to live where there's absolutely nothing,
Right.
for me. So we compromised.
Because you are not a little country girl.
I mean, I am, but when all you live around is oil fields, it's kind of. I mean, yeah, that's about as country as you can get, I guess. But like, but I just wanted access to like a little bit more, and like, so we settled on Austin. So like,
Okay.
that's so funny, but yeah, and so we lived there for a year, and then moved to Nashville. So that was 2019.
What was that conversation like? Was that a conversation, or was
It-
that always the plan?
It
or-
was no, it wasn't always a plan. It was a conversation
So
that
you
we
weren't just like,
had.
bitch, I did The Voice. We're going to Nashville.
No, I mean, in part, I feel like I think I can't even lie and say I was pretty demanding at that time. Like but we're obviously, it's been so long since then. In hindsight, we're both like, it was hard because he worked there
Mhm.
and I wanted to be somewhere else. And we had to like figure out how to make that happen. And like and ultimately, we did move to Nashville, and he still obviously worked out of Texas at the time. Now he doesn't, but so it was kind of this long distance thing he was like 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week
Mm.
off. But yeah, so we moved here.
And you were
and-
engaged at that time?
Yes. Yeah. And-
That's tricky.
yeah.
Because
So
when
it
you're
was-
engaged, you're prepping to be married. And when
Yes.
he's gone 2/3 of the time.
Yes, and we actually we
It's
didn't
hard.
get married until 2022. So like there was some time in between there. And so
Mhm.
like but yeah, so it was definitely like a hard period, but I was also like so excited to be in Nashville. And you want to know, you were asking what life was like after I moved here and I got a job as a host at Luke Bryan's. I did not even try to do music.
Nice.
Why? Don't know. But yeah, I moved here and I just got a job hosting. And like I don't know why. Like in hindsight, I'm like, why did I do that? But it actually, for me, it was kind of fun. It's where I made all my friends, and then like ended up singing with all of them now. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But Justin Bryan's the one who actually got me on Broadway.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So were you still doing music post The Voice while you were in Texas and moving to
Yeah,
Nashville?
at that time I was mostly like posting covers. Like I was writing songs,
Okay.
like with people, stuff like that. and I had started like getting more like time in like the studio and things and stuff like that, but I hadn't really done much until like moving to Nashville again. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird period. I think I took that time and did a lot more like live gigging because I never had like my whole life. I literally did everything backwards.
Yeah.
So until getting off that show, like I had never really performed out places. So I did a lot of that.
What was that like, going from big production to honky tonk stage?
I think, to be honest, I mean, I think it was always exciting for me just because I hadn't ever done it. If that makes sense. But yeah, it's obviously a huge difference. But like,
what was the learning curve there? Because obviously on The Voice, your
curve,
band's not fucking anything.
The
up.
learning curve was that like when you're on there, everyone's doing everything for you. So like, while I'm also learning a lot, getting off, like I didn't know much about like, not that I really need to here, but like running sound or like, or just like places where you have to like do your own little sound setup on like even just a little mix board. It's like I didn't know anything because I just went from one thing to the next, and then like so I kind of got off and just started learning like all of anything I could, down to like the very most like basic things. Because again, while you're on there, it's like everything's kind of done for you.
You're given like the best scenario to sing your song.
Yes, you are given the best chance to do what you do best, sing. Like, you know. So, but yeah, that was kind of my transition here, but it was also really fun. And songwriting was something that I got really big into on the tail end of that, probably like while I was on the show, but like getting off, like that was something that just became really fun for me too. So I got, and obviously made a bunch of friends here and like writing songs together and stuff. That was just like such a fun new thing. Because where I came from, like I didn't know anybody who was really a musician. So
yeah, it's hard to call friends to go on a
ride.
If,
so
like,
I that's what I love just about being here is like, you know, there's so many of us, like we're all here a lot of us are here for the same thing. And you know,
speaking of writing,
yes,
we talked a little bit before we started recording. You've got new music coming out.
I do. I'm so excited because I really haven't put much out, to be honest. Like even the past couple of years and anything. So I have 2 songs that I wrote, that I recorded with an awesome producer in Nashville. So I'm really excited about that and to put those out. So I wrote some songs. One of them I wrote probably in recent like year and a half or so, and then another one I wrote maybe like around like COVID time that I've been dying to just like record. So
yeah. What's the flavor of the songs? I know you probably don't want to give too much away.
No, I'd say one of them, it's called I'm Walking Away. It's definitely like that kind of like pop country vibe, if I had to give it. And then not too far off, but the other one that I have is same thing, but maybe just like adding like a little bit more of like kind of like that like singery songwriter vibe to it. Like I've always been someone who struggles with staying in like one lane. I love country. That's kind of like where everything.
I feel that.
No, it's hard. I mean, like but that's kind of where everything kind of like stems around is country music. But like, you know, making
but that
everything
encompasses a lot of flavor.
Yes. So these are 2 songs that are similar, but also different at the same time, and that kind of makes no sense. But when you hear it, you'd see. I'll show you later.
As an artist, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like it's
I'm
the
so
same,
deep.
but nothing alike.
I love it.
So writing and playing Broadway, that's been your last couple years?
Yeah. And then like I go on the road. I have a booking agent that I do stuff with, and that's also different. It's like corporate and universities, whitive is like its own market in itself.
Let's talk about universities.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to step back for a second because I have a question. All right. So you were a host at Luke Bryan's, and you said that Justin was the one that got you like playing on Broadway.
Yeah.
So where did you hosting Luke Bryan's get you playing on? I mean, I know you clearly made friends and connections, but did somebody like call you up to come sing, or were they like, "Hey, I need somebody to sub for me"?
Well, it's actually kind of funny. Like I was hosting or I was like the host at the front door of, because they have like multiple in the building or whatever. But I was at the front door, so like people would walk in, and some people would recognize me from the voice, and so there would be like multiple times where people would be like asking for my picture, like with me. And my manager, I remember my manager would be like, "Why are they taking pictures with this girl? Like, what?" You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And
So wait, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, whoever hired you is a genius. You put somebody that's like nationally recognizable at the front door, like that's genius. And you're saying they didn't have a clue?
no, it's like that, but that's me. Like when you get to know me, you'll know like that's me. It's like it's almost like I put the voice like in my rear view mirror. I'm having
Rear
a stroke.
view
River
mirror.
mirror?
My river mirror.
River mirror.
My river mirror.
I got a river mirror, y'all.
Oh,
And we
I hate
derailed.
myself sometimes. But it's like almost as if I just kind of was like, oh, well, that happened, and then just like went on my merry way, and kind of, unless you knew me or whatever, or it came up, it's even now, like it's not something I'll just be like, oh yeah, I was on The Voice. Did you know that? Like I just feels like,
I mean, I didn't know for like the majority of the time that I've known you.
Yeah. And like,
I had no idea, and until we were sitting in here literally 10 minutes before you got here, and he was like, "So should we like make The Voice like the main subject, or should we talk about other shit?" And I'm like, "She was on The Voice," and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like
yeah.
I even I went on your Instagram and I followed you, and I was like, I didn't see any of that. Like,
I know
you
it's
don't
way
have
down
it
there.
on there.
Yeah.
So where there's a lot of people like that's in their
It
fucking,
used to be in mine, but it just, something about it makes me feel like, I don't know. I struggle because it's like I'm a kind of person who I love attention, but I also hate it at the same time. Like,
again, feel that.
So like what I want to do involves me needing to want the attention, but I deep down like I kind of like, I like just
Yeah.
being, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like this struggle, and like but I know that music's what I want. So it's like, you know, so it's,
I
you work
relate
at
to
it.
that 100%.
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And I like the
100%.
term, it's been coined somewhere, whatever, like I'm an introverted extrovert.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, I love talking, I love meeting people, I love singing, I love putting on a show, but I also like, I like to be like by myself at home watching Harry Potter or something.
When I'm
like-
on stage, most bands that I play with, when I'm on stage, I will make sure that I'm the center of attention. It pisses a lot of artists off. But like when I come home, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to do the social media posts. I don't want to do anything. But when I'm on stage, I'm like, look at me.
Yeah, it's a give and take, I'll say, but yeah. So to answer your, to go back on one of our train tracks, my manager was kind of just like, who the hell is she? Why are people taking photos? And then eventually like learned I was on The Voice, and then like some of the people, because you know you're right next to the stage, so like I would talk with the musicians all the time, like here and there, and like, and then I think it was one of the sound guys I actually became friends with, and I was telling him that I was on, and he was like, oh wow, and like he followed me, and then he was listening to like some of my stuff, and then he ended up like telling Justin like there whatever one day like, oh, you know this girl sings, like, and he was like, no. Blame you. And
Knowing Justin, he was probably like, huh, this will be fun.
yeah, probably. Like,
Right? Yeah, I can see that.
And then he's like, and then he was just kind of like, oh, well, what are you doing like tomorrow or this weekend? Something like that. Like, cause he needed someone to fill in with him. And I was like, okay. And then I basically quit Luke's after that and started singing on Broadway. Yeah.
I mean,
But-
it's true. Everybody in this town fucking sings and or plays. Like,
Yeah.
And I mean, as we've said on the podcast countless times, like that's how you get a gig in Nashville is you have a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
That's how it
somebody
works.
you know.
It's honestly, yeah, that's how it all started. And now I'm here. Now I'm
Mhm.
here. I play every week. I still have never, I was going to say, actually, no, that's a lie. I was going to say I've never been hired by anywhere. Like I just get work off of like, you know, just like filling.
Like doing like co-front stuff.
Yeah. I did work for Tootsie's for a very short
That doesn't count.
stint.
Doesn't
Yeah.
count.
Yeah. Other than that, no. Other than that, I just get my work like through my friends, like,
Mhm.
and I actually love it that way. I've been asked a couple times, like, are you gonna like do your own, like, get your own band? Because I don't think it'd be very hard to get hired, but like, I truly just like making my own schedule. I like getting to like, if I wasn't getting work, I think I would try to get hired
Right.
somewhere. But like, I've been fortunate enough to be able to like work weekly. So like, why fix what ain't broken?
Right. Give
So,
yourself more responsibility.
no.
And if it
Yeah.
works, it works. If you're happy doing what you're doing, then what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah, that's the other thing
Like-
too. Is I just
And clearly, going back from our
yeah.
earlier conversation where you were miserable in school and now you're like
Right.
happy doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. You know?
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, like, do I see myself singing in the Nashville bars until I'm like 40? Probably not. So I don't really know. I don't really know what that holds like years down the road. But like, I do know that in some way, shape, or form, like, music is like gonna be my forefront forever. Like I could never. I don't think I could ever go back to like a 9 to 5 job or anything
Right.
like that. Like once you do what we do, there's
Yeah.
It's
how
really
how do
hard.
you
It's hard
go
to see
back
the
it?
value in a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you can go play for 4 hours and
Yeah.
make $500,
And I truly think like even if I wasn't gonna do that, I think I would work for myself before
Mhm.
going anywhere else.
Oh yeah, I could never work.
I know
for
that's a whole
somebody
nother
again.
work ethic in itself because like doing your own thing is very hard
Well,
and a
when,
lot of
when
work.
you do
but
it, when you do what we do, and you're in charge of everything in your life,
yeah,
and when you go back to a 9 to 5, you lose a lot of that control, and now you're having
Yes.
to listen to somebody else, and you're like, that's dumb and not efficient. I could do
can't-
this better and
I
faster.
can't
and this,
work for somebody. I think I'm smarter
capacity.
than.
yeah, we've had that conversation. Yeah, and it's true. I mean, like,
It's just hard going
I
from
look
working
back-
basically for yourself to
I look back at all these managers that are still at these retail stores
Mhm.
10 years later from when I first moved here, 11 years later,
yeah.
and they're still in that same position, miserable. I just talked to one of them like 3 weeks ago, and he is so miserable and hates his life.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, I could never go back to like working for somebody like you. I couldn't. I would
Yeah.
scream within the first like 15 minutes.
And it's hard because like those people like that, like you don't know what they want to do or want to be doing, but it's like it's taking the leap to do something. It's like the biggest and scariest part, but it's like for I don't know, I don't really know what your guys' situation was like prior to like what you do now, but like if you were in like just a full 9 to 5 and then you make the jump to music or like it's a big like oh my god, what is gonna happen? But
Here you go. What do you think I did before this? Because you just met me the other day. So
I have
this is
literally
all-
no idea. Oh my god.
It is like a normal profession, so it's
Okay.
not something that like you would never think.
Like you worked in an office somewhere. Or give me a
I,
hint.
kind of, in a
Okay.
way, I guess. I was a teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You had an office just with a bunch of children.
Yeah.
What year did you teach?
So third, and then I also did first grade. For a
Oh,
little bit.
get out. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for teachers. I think they're
Didn't
very
do it for long. I got the
underappreciated.
fuck out of it.
I don't blame you. It's sad. I think the
Teachers are
teacher
awesome.
culture.
Teaching
Teachers are
sucks.
amazing.
Yeah, teachers are amazing, and it was actually some of my teachers that I had that I was like, okay, I think I could do this because they were. That's
Yeah.
I want to be them. I want to be that
Yeah.
teacher. Now, teaching wasn't my idea. That wasn't the profession I wanted to go into. I was
Yeah.
kind of like coerced into it. But when I got into it, I was like, okay, well, I want to be like those teachers. When I
Yeah.
started teaching, I was like, fuck this. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
It is so hard to be like those teachers. Everything is against you.
I bet.
The ones that just like care about their students every day, no matter what's going on, blows my mind. Like
Mhm.
I couldn't do it.
we
couldn't.
need more people like that, but it's also really hard with
Yeah.
like
So God bless all you teachers. I love y'all.
thank you for your service.
Seriously.
Right.
Especially nowadays, man.
Oh boy.
And it's always fun. Like we'll be on stage, and we'll like when I play with Noah Garner, he'll ask, who's a teacher, firefighter, service members, this and that, and there's always a lot of teachers that come to this town and they have no problem. Yeah, I'm a fucking teacher. And so it's always funny to be like, yeah, I used to teach. And they're like, what?
You did what now? That's
But
funny.
I love them, man. I'm grateful for them. And they all said the same thing. They're like, be glad you got out. It's
Yeah.
terrible now. It's so
Yeah.
terrible now.
Well, I think since we're talking about schools and teachers, that we should
Go
definitely
back to
take a second and mention Antioch High
Oh,
School,
yeah.
and that our hearts goes out to
Absolutely,
the students
man.
and the
Oh,
families.
yes.
And
I saw that. I woke up that the other morning and it just,
It's sad.
it is
it's
it's
so
devastating.
scary.
It is,
And-
and it's so close to home, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but
Well, I will say that I hope something happens soon and things get better.
Mhm.
But our hearts
Yeah.
definitely go out to you.
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
All right, so back on track, or a track. There's a lot
Some
of
sort
tracks.
of track. Whew.
We got like
There's
10,
we got a lot of
we got like
things
10
in here.
tracks with a big
Yeah.
switcher. We're just going back and forth.
Right.
Where are we going next?
Now, I want to hit. Well, you know what? We were talking about kids,
Hmm.
so
Oh, okay, yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, this is a good segue.
I will just let you go, and you can take. The
I
reins
was-
on
This is your announcement to the world.
Hello. Yeah, I was just saying before we got on here that I am pregnant with my
Yay.
first baby. I can't even believe it. I'm still in shock. Both me and Joey, my husband, were both just like over the moon, but we're definitely like, oh my God, is this real?
I like how you're like Joey, my husband.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just to make sure it wasn't.
Well, I don't know if you've
like-
ever met him. That's why I say I was just like, have you?
I don't think I
don't
have.
think so.
I don't think so.
Like he comes to my shows periodically, but like
If I did, it was super
it's probably
brief
like
and nothing.
a
I would
long time ago
remember.
then, because I can't remember the last time he played when you were, or he came to our show when you were playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're so excited. We found out actually. I just turned 30 like a couple weeks ago,
Youngin'.
and
Right?
well, I feel like my whole body started falling apart after that. It was like the day I woke up.
Yeah,
That's how it
pretty-
happens.
Yeah, they're
Wait
like,
till you hit, wait till you hit
Oh
35.
no, don't say that. No.
38.
Oh my, no way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I look real good for my age.
You do. You don't look 38. But we found
I'm
out
not
on
looking
my
forward to
birth.
that this year.
Are you what?
Turning 38.
You're gonna turn 38 too?
Yeah,
Even you don't look 38.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyways, this is about you, not me.
This is the
We know
show
we're
of
pretty.
compliments.
Let's talk about you.
But yeah, we went to Universal Studios for my birthday,
Mhm.
and we were there for like a whole week. So the first day we get there, I go and I ride every roller coaster that they have, every ride, everything that you probably should not be riding. I did not know I was pregnant.
Of course.
But that day, like, we also had gotten in this like really weird argument, which like if you know me, I'm like a very like bubbly person. Like, sure, I get upset sometimes or whatever, but like we got in like this really weird argument about like my flight coming up for like a show or something. I was like, it's this day. And he's like, no, it's not. It's this. I'm like, no, it's this. And just this literally stupid thing. And I start crying. And I'm sitting in my brain kind of after, I'm like, why am I crying? This is weird. Like, and then I start laughing. And it literally is like, I look like a psychopath probably to my husband. And he's like, and I've also been really tired and lately, just in the past like week or two, and like extreme fatigue. And he's like, do you think we should take a pregnancy test? And I was like, no, it's gonna be negative. It's like we're in Universal Studios. No.
Because that has anything to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, I know. And so, but like he's like, you know, because like I guess I've just been like super just emotional, and like, I mean, yeah, I'm just the way that was playing out. That is not normally how I act. So we were just like, oh, okay, all right, fine, but it's gonna be negative. Go waste your money on a test. That's basically what I told him.
Yeah, fuck your $12.
Yeah, yeah. So we.
I have no idea how much a pregnancy test
was
costs. I
actually,
just
like-
throwing
They're more
out
than
there.
that.
Yeah, we Uber to Target and go back to the hotel and then take a pregnancy test that night. 2 lines. I'm pregnant, and he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like,
Do we need 12 more tests?
Oh, we took about 10 because we were in literally. I have a picture of us like holding them all up. We were just in disbelief. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So my whole trip, I had to abstain from roller coasters, but it was okay. We had a good week.
And you had that one day full of rides.
Yes, and I did that one, and the baby seems fine. I'm pretty sure they're doing okay. So, they were probably in there like, wah!
It's gonna be an adrenaline junkie.
but
I
yeah,
want to jump out of a plane.
woohoo! Yeah.
No.
So that was kind of how we found out, which was really funny. And then we told our parents when we had got home. We have 2 dogs, so we put some bandanas on them, like Dr. Seuss, like thing 1, thing 2. We put one on each of our dogs, and then I had a little onesie that we had hidden, and then showed them up like the thing 3, and they were like, oh my god. So my parents are like so excited. But yeah, I'm gonna be a mom.
That's awesome.
That's
All right.
awesome. Congrats.
All right.
Thank you.
I am open for questions.
I don't even know what I should be asking.
As the resident parent on this podcast.
That'll never be me. Never
my
be me.
gosh. It's funny. It's like, I've taken care of like a lot of kids, like babysitting, whatever, family. I was a nanny for a short time in college, but like when it's like your own on the way, you're like, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I literally am in my head, like, I'm so unprepared, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm not. But
that feeling never goes. I have one that's 16 and one that's 6, and I'm like, I don't know.
it's like, okay, we're gonna figure this out as we go. But we're so excited. I don't even know what I should be asking.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start with a couple basic
Okay,
questions.
all right.
You ready?
Okay,
All right.
I'm ready.
Diapers or cloth diapers?
Diapers. We're not doing the cloth thing. I'm not.
It's so easy. And
just-
they're so cute.
Yes.
Don't look at me. I'm not.
I will
nope,
say they look.
I'm out.
He said no. I'm like, help me. They look cute, sure, but just the thought of like washing those, like after they just repeatedly like shit in them, and you just
All right,
how does that like?
So there's a little
This
insert.
conversation has took a turn.
Oh yeah. So there's a little insert
He said, "Don't look at me."
I'm out.
that
I'm
absorbs
dead.
all of the moisture,
Mhm.
and so you wash the inserts separate. And then there's a
know.
little thing that you put in that it looks like a dryer sheet that you put in, and that catches all the solid. And so you just throw that away,
Mm.
and then it's like washing anything else for the actual
Yeah.
diaper.
Okay.
And then you wash the inserts separate,
Okay.
and that's all it is.
I already fucking hate doing laundry as is, so I definitely.
I
would
just
be
have
out on
this.
that.
Yeah, I just have this. Maybe if I become more sophisticated and maybe, but the first time, I think I'm gonna be just one of the thought. Yeah, the thought of like having extra laundry or extra.
I mean, there's already a lot of
He's
extra
like,
laundry
nah.
with kids.
That's the
Like,
easiest part of it all.
with-
I'm
No,
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
It really
With-
is. That's no problem.
With
Yeah.
newborns, children through like what 3 years old, they're going through what 2 pairs, 3, 4 pairs of clothes a day.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you're already doing a shit ton of laundry. and
I
then
mean,
you
like,
wanna
yeah.
add
How many of
on
them diapers
more
you gonna be buying?
diapers?
Like,
Yeah, but like the clothes are little, so like
yeah, that's
you just-
true.
Like
Oh,
a
no.
week's worth of a baby's laundry is like half.
It's
a
not
load.
putting the stuff in the machines. It's taking it out and putting it away and folding it and doing all the other stuff.
No. You're a new parent at this point. You don't do that part.
Yeah,
That-
everything
that
just
shit
lays
stays
on the
in a
floor.
basket.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be a diaper
Okay.
girl to start.
okay.
I won't rule them out, but
You will save.
All right, what's the
So
next?
much
what's,
money.
what's the next
So much
question,
money.
resident parent?
All right, you ready?
yeah.
Well, this is more of a blanket statement.
Okay.
It's not really a question. All the cool gizmos and gadgets that are supposed to help with all of the daily activities,
Mhm.
you're not going to use them. Don't waste your money on them.
You know what? You're actually, I think, like the second or third person so far that's told me that.
Out of like 10 things that will be strongly recommended,
Yeah.
you might use 2 of them.
Yeah.
So don't spend your money. Get what you get at the baby shower, all that
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah.
Don't spend extra money until you want something for something.
Okay.
You know,
that's
I
good
want to
advice.
slap
I've been,
the people that spend like money on those like super expensive like baby outfits. They're like $100
Right.
that they're just gonna wear for 30 seconds and throw up on. Like, Y'all are dumb.
Like your baby is wearing like Louis Vuitton or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean,
If
are
you
you
spend
sure?
more than like $10 on a little jumper, it's too much.
I mean, if it's a girl, God help her, she's gonna have a big closet.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just know that like they grow fast.
Oh, I do know. I'm banking on people just buying my baby lots of clothes and then
that's good.
Yeah.
That's usually
Throw you a
best
big baby shower.
I will.
Invite everyone you fucking know.
Mhm.
If
I
you're like,
already know.
even if you and Joey are like, do we really like them? You know what?
You
Today
do
we
today.
do.
Today we
we
like
do.
you. You are invited. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I just know my mom's gonna like buy the most just already just herself. Moms,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, are just the best.
Do you have
when
any
it comes to
brothers
that.
and sisters?
I do. I have one sister and two brothers.
Older, younger?
Older brother, younger sister, younger brother.
Do any of them have kids?
My older brother has two kids.
Okay.
And then
so it won't be as bad.
yeah. So
But
Maybe you'll
but
skip
mom-
out
mom
on the
will still-
insane grandma and just
no,
get-
probably not.
no.
Okay.
No, yeah, probably not. She's,
Mom,
she's probably gonna go nuts.
she'll be excited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's her daughter having a kid.
Oh,
She'll be
yeah.
really excited.
Yeah, she's quite excited already. She's dying to tell people because like we haven't really. I mean, to be honest, we haven't really put it out yet, but
Well, the
Well,
world
we will
is
come
the
Friday.
world
No,
is
that's
gonna know
okay.
Friday.
That's okay. But we're gonna be putting it out there soon, and like we've been telling everybody anyways. But like
It's
but
hard
we
to
just
keep
haven't.
something like that to
It
yourself,
is,
'cause
and like all the stigma
it's
around
big.
like you should wait until like X amount of weeks to like tell people and and like we didn't do that. We just started telling everybody, which like I understand why. Like
oh
I
yeah,
get that.
that's a thing,
I know,
but-
and I if that happens, you know what, I would be more happy that we celebrated it at the time.
You know what?
You
And so, me and my soon-to-be ex-wife, she got pregnant. We told everybody,
hmm
and she had a miscarriage.
yeah,
And at first, it was really, really hard because people would come up and be like, "How's the baby?" And then you have to tell them.
yeah,
But it got her talking about it,
yeah.
and talking about it.
You're not the
helps
only one that
so
knows
much.
because like that's a hard thing. I don't know what's I think that might be worse as being like the only people that really know because
Mhm.
like why are you gonna then go out and like actively tell people, hey, I just had a
Right.
miscarriage or something like that. I think it's better to just like
So
have
honestly,
a big circle
as,
around you.
as uncomfortable
Praying that
as
just
that is,
does not happen.
it
but-
might actually be better that way
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah. So we're just hoping for smooth sailing, but I think we're prepared if something like that were to happen. Well, no, I don't think anyone's ever prepared. but
No,
you know what I mean.
no. How
Yeah.
far along are you?
I literally was just
Oh,
about to
covered
ask
that.
that.
Early. I'm like 6 weeks right now.
Okay.
6.5. So it's early. Yeah. At least that's what I think. I could be wrong. It could be farther. We're about to find out.
Did your doctor not tell you?
No, we're
rough?
about to find out because they since we weren't as sure, they actually wanted to be like because sometimes if you go too early,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen.
Mhm.
No, I mean like obviously we know I'm pregnant. We're positive about that.
Right.
Like I've gotten a test, but not like an actual like exam yet. So
Okay.
that is like where we get the picture and
I was
everything.
like, yeah, you
Is-
haven't done the ultrasound.
well,
and
yeah,
all
we
that
haven't
stuff.
done
Okay.
haven't done an
Gotcha.
ultrasound yet, which is like coming up very very soon. So I'm very excited.
That's awesome.
I just wanna see
That's
what
exciting
picture.
news, man. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah,
I'm
But,
so happy for you.
thank you.
Like I said before the podcast, like being a dad is the best part of my life
Yeah.
without comparison.
Oh, I
Like,
can't
it is
wait. I don't think it's
amazing.
gonna feel real, and I mean it's real, but like until I see like the picture, and you finally get to just be like, oh my god, there it is.
Okay,
Like,
so
that's a
I
moment.
know it's still early, and you probably haven't thought too much about it, but this is something I'm always curious about when females do get pregnant and they're singers down on Broadway. Clearly, you're gonna have to take some time off, be with your kid, do that.
Right.
I get that, but do you see yourself coming back to Broadway after you've become a mom?
My husband and I were just talking about this. I do because like I enjoy it. Like obviously, I don't think I'll be doing it as much as I'm doing it now because at the moment I'm here 5 days a week,
Right.
which is even this is the most I've ever done. I typically only do like a couple shows a week typically, but I've been doing this since like November. we're doing, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a lot. That I don't think I would come back to, but I definitely would be keeping like a couple. I think now when to come back after that, I guess it's different for everybody. I don't really know, but like some people like wait like 5 months, some wait like 2. Like
I'm gonna plant because I'm glad you said that. I think that's awesome because I know several people that have had kids and then they come back and they do it because again they love it. This is what we do.
Yeah.
To plant a seed in your head because you were talking about like you just kind of jump on with other people and you sing wherever, which is great for the position you're in. But also something to be good for you is you could start a band now because we're going into busy season.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time we come down towards the end of busy season, you'll be having your kid, you can take time off. But if you start a band now and you get it steady and you get steady gigs, you could easily walk away. And then when you come back, you can come back whenever the hell you want.
Yeah. I know I've thought about it. It's just like, I don't know. I'm in a unique situation too. I feel very fortunate to have and it's not something to like, that I take for granted. It's just like my husband, he does really well for himself. And we both came from like,
didn't you say he was a petroleum engineer?
He was. He's also now he also works in data engineering now too. So 2 very like different but very big fields. Like
smart guy. Like he can be all right.
And so he does really well for himself.
He's
and
not scared.
No, not scared at all. But like we've known each other since we were 18, and so we've come up together like, and it's just like funny looking back on us like having trouble paying for like a $900 rent in college to like now like just being a little more free. And like I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have him to kind of lean back on, because like I know that sometimes like there's the 2 working parents, and then when one has to stop, things get really hard.
Yeah.
And so that's, for me, I feel very fortunate. I won't necessarily have to know I won't know what that's like. And like what I'm trying to say is like when you were talking about like coming back and stuff like that, I think it's going to be a little different for me this time, because like right now I've always been someone who like wants to work for themselves. I want to make my own money. Like I want to contribute to my family. I want to I want to make sure that I have something to give. And like, even though I technically I don't necessarily have to anymore, and so that's kind of when you've come up with one person and like it gets to that point, it's a very weird to like feel that way, because, we worked side by side for so long needing each other. And now he's like, you can kind of like let off if you wanted to, which feels weird because I'm like, I'm someone who always wants to work for themselves. I always want to make sure I'm contributing something. So I think after having a baby and then choosing to come back to work, I think it'll actually be better for myself and in my mind, because I'll be choosing to come back because I want to, and just like
not because
purely,
you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the other thing I think for musicians, that like that feeling of you're doing all this, like we work on Broadway, and some of us work down here 5 days a week, and like but like it's so draining on the other side when you want to be like creating content, or you want to be writing songs, you want to be doing things, but you're so tired from working the job that you love but not getting to really experience the part of it that you love, if that makes sense.
Right. It's checking that work box, but it's not checking the
and I've got
box.
into that's kind of the groove that I've been in as of late. Like I'm just kind of feel like I'm like go on Broadway, but like I'm not doing any of the things I actually want to be doing. So I think this is going to, in a very like odd way, change things a little bit.
Oh yeah,
for the better, And I think a lot of people also get nervous about having a kid and getting back into this kind of stuff. But I truly think that it can be something that's like really, really good.
Well, I know there's been quite a few songs and stuff that have been released out there after people have had kids and had amazing career shifts. So You sound like you have a good like plan. Like
I've thought
like,
about this quite a
like-
bit.
so.
To flip the coin, there's also like, and I don't think you would struggle with this at all, but that feeling of, well, I have to get back to that, and I have to do that, even if it's not financial, just because
Yeah.
that's what you're used to doing. And so once you step out of that, things are gonna feel really weird.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. I just like I think we were just talking about kind of something similar, just of like when do you think you'd go back? If like assuming everything goes smoothly, we get through a pregnancy, we have a baby, when do you see yourself like going back? Like my husband was asking, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I have that feeling too though that like
Do y'all have family or anybody here? Is it just y'all two?
it's just us. All our family is in PA. So like other than like like my brother and sister live in different places, but yeah, like my whole family is like back home. So
the free childcare's out.
yeah, unless it's one of our friends who are like around, you know what I mean? Like it's like so I think we'll definitely have. I'm sure like I'll have family that'll come and stay with us for a little while, but like
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
whether
that's
you want them there or not.
yeah,
that'll happen.
and we
Pretty
and,
much, yeah.
and Joey works from home, so
Oh,
Oh, that's
so that's
nice.
actually
Yeah.
like a plus now.
Oh,
So yeah.
absolutely.
So he works from home now. He isn't, which is also very different from what he used to do. So like we're just he's home all the time, and so
So my girlfriend works from home,
yeah,
and so with the two of us, she has 2 kids, I have 2 kids, so it's 2
Mhm.
that are 16 and 2 that are 6. So it's absolutely
Oh my gosh.
insane. But her being able to work from home and then me being able to have a flexible schedule,
Mhm.
like, is literally like the perfect situation.
yeah,
And everything that would normally be such a stressor, we don't even worry about.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
that the situation you're in is perfect. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to go back to work
okay,
when you get a text message
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, do you want to sing Friday?"
yeah,
And you're like, "Yeah, I do." And that's when you're going to go back to work.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
yeah.
So
I-
don't worry about like a timeline or anything. Like
Yeah.
you'll know.
Oh yeah, I definitely think I'll get to a point where I'm like I really want to go back, or like but I'm definitely give myself a couple months for sure.
Oh,
But
definitely.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
for sure.
but I think in my head I'm like I'll probably go back like maybe like 2-3 times a week, and
Yeah.
that'll be good enough for me.
Mhm.
Is like, and because like then I could really, obviously focus on a new life. Like it's so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're like obviously I never had a baby, so like your first time is probably just all these new things for you.
Huge learning.
And
experience, I'm
and
sure.
then but then also getting to focus maybe on the other things in music that I wanted to focus on that I didn't get to,
Mhm.
like as I'm like right now, So I think that'll be very, very fun, very new, something to look forward
I'm so
to.
excited
I'm
for you.
so
I
excited.
I can't wait. Fast forward 6-8 months after you've had your baby, and we can have a conversation about
Yay.
being parents and like all the weird little idiosyncrasies babies have.
I know, and like a bunch of my friends are having babies right now, so it's so fun to watch them all grow families and like,
I would absolutely. I want another baby so bad. I don't want another baby mama.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's where I'm not doing well.
I wish you could be on the camera.
You
right
look
now.
at me however
Bobby?
you want to. You look at me however you want to. I
It's getting
love
the-
kids so
The
much.
death stare.
Bobby.
What?
God damn it.
I said I didn't want a baby mama.
Damn it, Bobby.
And I can't afford adoption.
Oh
so
God. This conversation has gone in so many.
Oh, it has. It has.
Go back and listen to any other podcasts we have. This has probably been one of the most straightforward ones.
No,
so
yeah,
Oh
far.
wow,
we-
I love it.
Chronologically,
Very
we're doing
organized.
good.
Yeah.
Before we started the podcast, you mentioned doing a lot more content creation
Yeah.
and becoming more of an online presence. And
Yeah.
now, given what we just talked about, I'm assuming a lot of that is in play because of being a new mom. And you're like, hey, these are things that I can do that I want to do
Mhm.
that I can also do hand in hand with being a mom.
Yeah, I think it's just like it goes in that kind of like that burnout phase of Broadway, which I know so many people experience
Mhm.
and like stuff. And to be honest, I've never worked this much. This is the most I've ever worked on Broadway, and I'm experiencing that feeling of just like, God, I feel like I don't have time for like anything else. And I love it. I enjoy I love doing shows and stuff, but I'm like looking for like all the other things that I want to do, like when it comes to like songwriting or making content. Like it's so, you know, it's so exhausting. Sometimes you just don't even have it, or sometimes you don't even have a voice like to do it. Like just so I think I'm just looking forward to there being more of like a balance.
That creative
because like
outlet,
it's almost as if I have to make a balance. Like you know, you like it's but I'm looking forward to that. So
do you have ideas? Have you started like the brainstorming of like, what kind of content am I going to make? What kind of online presence do I want to have? And I'm asking from a place of we're trying to do more online content.
Yeah, I think I
want to steal your ideas.
I think I just really want to start making a lot more, like just getting back to why I always I loved social media in the first place, because after a while it just became a chore. And I think, again, I think a lot of people can relate to that in our field. Like,
yeah, it's another job on top of
but I
what
used to
you
really
do.
love it. You know what I mean? And like, and I kind of like lost that just with feeling so kind of like pulled in all these directions all the time with things I'm doing. So like, I really just want to get back to like, I used to love making covers. I used to love doing YouTube. I used to love doing all that. I kind of want to get back to doing that, but just, and then like, the songs that I want to release, like getting creative content for those, like fun little videos and stuff. Like, you know, it's not very hard to do. It's just like time consuming. Yeah. So, you know, like I think I want to get back to that, and just like even just hobbies in general. Like things I love to do that I don't do anymore. Like I love to crochet. That's one thing about me. I'm like a grandma.
That's awesome.
But I picked that up. I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Crochet her own diapers.
Yeah. F you. No,
Screw your cloth diapers. She's gonna crochet diapers.
For real. Like, but I love
that would be a cloth diaper, Kyle.
You know what I fucking meant, okay?
But like I love crochet. Like all these things, I just want time. And so it's really, you know, and I'm bad at time management. If we can put that out there.
Are any of us good at time management?
No, probably not. But like,
nope.
But
don't look at me.
You know, just getting back to like why I love what I'm doing is kind of where the journey I'm taking right now. And I think we all probably have one of those once at least in our career.
Well, and you know, I've found that a lot of times we fall back into why we love what we do when we have major changes in life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It kind of just like forces you to step back for a sec.
Yeah. So like for you, having a kid, this is going to be a huge life change for you. I mean, everything in your life is about to change. And so it's going to be able for you to take a step back and look at music and appreciate it again. For me, going through COVID and then getting divorced directly after COVID as everything's opening back up, I went into construction because I was like, well, I can't work. I don't have a wife to help me out anymore. Like, I'm fucked. So I went into construction, and then all of a sudden, like, my love for music came back.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll experience that in the most positive way.
Yeah.
And if you do decide you want to put a band together and get back to work, I know a great rhythm section.
Yeah. Right here.
Hell
we got you.
And we have a lot of fun on stage.
We do. It's always so much fun.
And I can sing a bunch of songs too. So all we got to do is find a guitar player and we're good to go.
And you can throw a rock and hit a guitar player.
Yeah.
Wow. There we go. All right.
Done.
Got 3 pieces right here.
Yep.
I love that.
I can't say how many times people come in here and be like, you know, the 3 of us could just start a band right now.
Did we just become best friends?
I watched that last night.
Oh, did you?
I believe you.
I totally did.
I've been going back and watching like just all those like 2000s, early 2000s movies, things like that lately. And I'm like, oh man, I miss some of the comedy in some of these.
I was actually watching was it on Peacock? I think it was the SNL season that they've released, and the second episode was all about the cowbell scene with Will Ferrell and
my
Christopher
gosh.
Walken. And so, like after watching that, I was like, man, want to watch a Will Ferrell movie. So like I
Yeah,
just
so
typed
here
in
we
Will
go.
Ferrell,
Click.
and that was the first one that came up with Step Brother. I was like, sweet.
We're gonna watch this. I watched the other day, Bruce Almighty.
Yes.
I haven't seen
watched
it in
that last week.
and I'm just now I can't stop going. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. I just keep saying that like every chance I get, and I'm like, where did I go?
There's the title for the episode.
That's the way the
There's
cookie
Yep,
crumbles.
that's the title for the episode.
I like
Absolutely.
it. I'm gonna write that down.
Boom.
Talking about old movies, though, I saw an ad. They're doing like a Little Nicky sequel,
Wait, what?
Oh yes, I heard about this.
and so I've been quoting Little Nicky
So,
quotes. For like
I haven't
and-
seen that. In,
So apparently
oh my gosh,
it's
not
gonna
real.
be like Adam Sandler's coming back, and it's gonna be Little Nicky as the devil. So
Okay.
yeah, so apparently like he's taken over hell and everything.
I
So
love a good Adam Sandler
Oh,
movie, so
Adam
I'll be.
Sandler
Love
and
a
Will
bad
for
Adam
sure.
Sandler. movie.
Oh yeah.
I was like any Adam Sandler movie, honestly.
Oh man,
Uh,
I can't even count how many times like Big Daddy like I've seen that.
oh, I used to
like-
have that. I used to have that on
I
repeat.
wipe my own ass.
So, yeah.
wipe my
I win because I win.
30 packets of ketchup.
Oh.
Oh man.
You know what? That's
I'm-
a must watch for a new parent.
I
That's a
may or
good
may
one.
not have
Yeah.
been walking
Parenting
through.
101.
I may or may not have been walking through the streets of New York quoting that movie.
Yes.
I love that. Oh.
Oh, where do we go from that? Adam Sandler ended our show.
I mean,
God damn
well,
it.
and you
And
know
that's
what?
the way the cookie crumbles.
We're right at an hour and a half, so we're right
All
on the
right,
money
well,
right here.
We will do our wrap up. I want to leave you with one more bit of parental wisdom.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh,
Most of everything doesn't matter. Just love them.
Okay.
That's literally
you.
all you have to do.
Yes.
Everything
All
else
we
comes
need
with it.
is love.
And don't forget to feed them.
That's really important.
If
I've heard.
so-
You
no,
have
legit,
to feed your
that's the
baby.
thing. No, you make a joke. But when Katie was little and she would start crying and
Like baby.
and we would go through the things. All right, diapers good.
They're just hungry.
Like I don't know what's wrong, and you literally forget. Oh, might be fucking hungry, and then you
and
give them
babies eat
food,
a
and
lot,
they're like,
I
"I'm fucking
know.
good."
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
When in doubt, they might just be hungry.
that's usually what it is.
Okay.
They cry because they're hungry or uncomfortable.
Yep.
So if diapers good, check food, then you're good. You're set.
All
It's
right,
that easy.
I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Dum,
Are you-
dum, dum.
Are you rooting for Taylor Swift's football team this weekend?
No, I am not.
No.
I know I'm wearing a Taylor Swift sweatshirt right now. But the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Philly. Yeah. So
I should have known that.
I
when
will be
asked that
wearing
question.
my Eagles jersey.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, oh, there's a Super Bowl coming up.
He's like, Taylor
So-
Swift's in the Super Bowl?
I'm playing on Sunday.
I think I
And
am too.
All my band, like we're doing a morning shift, so
Mhm.
everybody in my band is wearing their favorite team's jersey, and none of us are in the fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't own a jersey.
Well, my husband's
That-
a big
I believe
Bills
it.
fan, and he's so upset that because
Oh.
they just
I
obviously
was-
they just played.
I love the Bills Mafia. Like I'm not necessarily
Yeah.
like a Bills fan,
Yeah.
but I love the Bills,
Bills Mafia.
Mafia.
Yeah,
So like I was 100% rooting
he
for
was
them.
devastated.
I make good money when they're in town.
Crushed. Yeah,
Kansas City took out the Texans. I was like, "Fuck you guys,"
yeah.
and I'm going for the Bills. And the Bills lost. I'm like, "God damn it!"
Something about that still feels weird to me, but I guess the Chiefs just.
It's rigged.
The Chiefs just made more money.
It's rigged.
Of course, everything is rigged.
Yeah.
Yay, football!
Our podcast is even rigged. A bunch of people say they want on here, and we pick who we want.
Yeah.
It's rigged.
All right. Well, we're at the end of our show, guys. So thank you guys so much for listening along. And
Yes.
those of y'all that are watching along, we appreciate y'all.
Video.
I know it's still
Dude,
going.
yay.
It's
We
working.
could do a pop-up video.
We're hey.
Pop-up video.
Lots of ideas coming in right now.
That's what we've been doing this week is ideas.
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
ideas.
So the
Brainstorming.
whole when you saw us on Broadway the other day, he came over and we were just like, all right, we're going to sit down and talk about what we want to do this year and plan out the podcast. And
And you
I have
ended
to
up on
preface
Broadway.
this that it started with me being like, Kyle, are we doing a podcast? And Kyle like, Bobby, are we doing a fucking podcast? Like, we were both like, what the fuck's going on?
Pretty much. We're like, are we still doing this, or like, what the fuck is happening?
And then we were both like, well, I don't want to do it unless you want to do it. And then we were like, okay, let's
That's
fucking do
actually
it.
not what I said. I said I still want to do this shit. I just need you to come over here and do this shit.
Is that not what I said? I want to do it if you
Direct
want to do
quote.
it.
But yeah, so he came over and we were just talking, and I was like, dude, I got this tiny little green microphone. Let's go out on the streets of Broadway and do
It's
stupid
average.
street.
Yes.
It's average.
Big in some circles.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, let's go down to Broadway and let's do some street interviews. Like, that's
Hell yeah.
like, why the hell not? Maybe we can have the next Hawk Tua girl blow up. I don't know.
Oh my
but
god.
Onions and puke.
so we did just that. As you saw, we went around and
Yeah, that was
just
a lot of
interviewed.
fun.
It was.
Yeah.
That's good.
We didn't think we were going to get any content other than me just videoing Broadway and people
Yeah.
playing. And then when we saw y'all playing, we're like, we know all y'all. We can ask
I know
y'all.
him.
Then we
I
saw
know
Noah
him.
on the street. We saw Zach Robertson.
Oh yeah.
So, and then we saw
That's fun.
Cameron in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we interviewed somebody in the fucking parking garage. Like,
Hey, why not?
so yeah, it turned out great. We're
That's
gonna put yours
amazing.
up today, which
Yay.
so
Woo.
make sure you go follow us on TikTok,
I think
Nashville
I got
for
tongue-tied in
Nobodies,
that one.
and
Remember?
what for the interview?
No, I don't
No,
remember
no,
you
no.
getting tongue-tied.
No, maybe not.
No, you did fine.
Was I good?
I mean, I already
I
have
have
it,
multiple
I
strokes
can
when
show
I
it to
speak
you.
sometimes. Oh, I don't care.
but no, you did fine.
That was fun.
I think there was one question where you're like, and then you answered.
Oh yeah,
but-
maybe that was what I was saying. It
Like,
was
you-
the
you-
I know
you,
which
you
one,
had
yeah.
somewhat of a long pause, but
To be
that-
fair, the questions were weird. So most of the
Yeah.
time, at least one of the questions
Yeah.
got somebody to go,
Gets you off guard. You're like,
Oh yeah,
the
you
fuck?
see everybody's eyes just go, "What the fuck was that?"
The space alien question got a lot of...
yeah, that
There
was the one. I think that was the one. I was like, wait, what?
Or the Broadway mascot. That was
Yeah.
another one that threw people
Oh, I
off.
can't
I
remember
think
what
that
I
was
said
that was
for-
the one that
Wait, what did I say
you
for
s-
that?
you were gonna say-
I remember.
Yeah.
It was-
we won't say it because I want y'all to go
Right.
watch the TikTok. Anyways,
But
make
that
sure.
being said, we have a picture to show you.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I do
Oh
have
my
a picture
God.
for you.
All right, so closing out this show, where can everybody find you?
Yes, you can find me literally anywhere that has music or social media at It's Jackie Verna, like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
No,
then-
name them all. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yep. What else do we have? Like Spotify, Apple Music. Just look up
MySpace.
Jackie Verna, MySpace. You can be in my top 8, maybe.
I do miss MySpace. I'm not gonna lie.
That was
It was so much better.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah, it
All right,
was.
Kyle.
I'm at Therky Bass on TikTok and Instagram. Bobby, what about you?
Story of Bob or Story of Bob Music, if Story of Bob was for some reason taken. But yeah, I'm everywhere. Come say hi.
And please make sure that you guys go follow us on our new TikTok at Nashville for Nobodies. It's the number 4. You can find us. It's just like everywhere else. You can go through our Instagram to find it, go through our Facebook, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening every week. For everybody that comments and contacts us and talks to us, we appreciate you guys. Jackie, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
in.
guys
We
for
appreciate you
having
doing
me.
this. It was wonderful
And
meeting you.
let's get a quick hooray for season 4.
Yeah,
Hooray!
hooray!
Yeehaw!
We've got through episode 1. Woohoo! And we've got some stuff actually planned out this year. So I'm gonna try to get a showcase going for artists that have been on the show that want to have their music put out there. I got some things that I'm trying
Very
to work
cool.
on. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, AMF.
Bicycle. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We have a great time putting it on for you, so we really appreciate all of the listens. If you have any questions or want to reach out to us, we are on Facebook and Instagram. So if you just search Nashville for Nobodies podcast, we will pop up and you can interact with us that way. We also have some more options coming up in the future for interaction, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. So as always, it's never too late to tip your bartender, and please don't forget to tip your band.